She wanted to know about a concept in yoga called Rnanubandhanam, which is basically an aspect of karma. Rina means debt, Bandhana means the tie or the bond. So the debt bond. It explains in karmic terms why we have relationships or why we are in the circumstances with people or with things. Everything we experience in life is an aspect of a karmic potential. Now, I won't explain all the various aspects of karma because all that I've spoken on very deeply. But basically, the life we have or the personality that we have is an aspect of our vasana samskara, our desire and our tendencies, or you could say our habits and our tendencies. We keep strengthening certain things, we keep weakening other things. So the kind of life that we keep manifesting, it goes into certain particular kind of grooves. But the Rnanubandhan is a little bit more complex. What it means is every relationship that you have, every place that you live in, every place that you stay, all of that has a certain proclivity, it has a certain vibration that resonates with you because there is something there, there is something in you which creates a hook with that environment. There is a Rina. Shirdi Sai Baba used to say that even the paint on the wall has the Rina with the wall. When the Rina is over, that's when it falls off. He used to say, don't be harsh and rude to a dog that comes up to you or to a beggar that comes up to you, because if there is no Rina, they could not have come. You don't have to give them what they want, but that is not what Garima wanted to know. She wanted to know, especially in the context of difficult relationships, and I don't mean love relationships and I don't mean intimate relationships. There are certain people we have no clue why we are still friends with them or why we put up with them or why we engage with them, or and if there is a situation where you're basically scratching your head, why do I do this to myself, that is almost always an indication of Rnanubandhan. The Rnanubandhan is not over. Till it is over, you have to put up with it. Now, the most deepest form of Rnanubandhan is not as you would think between parents and children. It's actually when you get married to somebody, because there is a problem that yoga knows. Not a problem, there is a situation that yoga knows, that every act of sexual intimacy is a merging of two karmic streams. So yoga, long before the AIDS people knew that you never sleep with one person, you sleep with the karma of all the people they've slept with. So very often into your life something could come that has nothing to do with the person you were with or even the person he was with. Third or fourth removed, some karma came into you. So that is the real reason why yogis are not in favor of promiscuity. They have no moral issues about it. They couldn't care less. In fact, most yogis have a very healthy and positive attitude towards sex. But they understand this. So as was once told to me in very humorous way, that it is better to collect sin from one person than from many. So the Rnanubandhan of the intimate relationship is the strongest because of this danger. Because of the danger that karmic input that does not belong to you, that you did not create merely because it finds a safe ground in you or a habitable ground in you, can come in. But again, we are not talking about those kind of things. That is a separate topic. Whenever I start talking on relationships, marriage, maybe we can deal with it. That is actually the most powerful form of Rnanubandhan. But every professional relationship we have, every personal relationship we have, including our pets, they are all because we have this kind of debt bond or debt tie. It's not a bond, it's a tie. Now it's not a simple cause and effect, or I owe you then you owe me. Now unfortunately a lot of places you will find, if something bad happens and they will say you must have done something bad and now it is payment. Now that is not a yogic perspective at all. this whole blind aspect of, you know, the responsibility is always onto the person who is enduring whatever evil is being happening. The person who is doing it is given a free pass. That is not a yogic perspective at all. Now, there are multiple reasons why something can happen. It's not like everybody's karma collectively decided we will all die in an airplane crash. It's much more complicated than that. When something like an accident happens, it is not just the individual karma of the people. The karma of the person who is driving the vehicle, for instance. Because you do have agency, you do have impact and influence on your environment. And that day, because you had a breakdown, you had a psychotic breakdown and you lost control of your car, you suddenly create an unintentional karma that has nothing to do with the prarabdha or the past life or whatever. It's just a fresh, new, original karma. It's quite possible. There is samajik karma. A society has karma, a city has karma. Multiple, Bombay is a very spiritual place. It's over 2000 years old. Things, when they dig in the ground, old murtis come out and things like that. Historically, from the time of the Mauryas, Mumbai has been inhabited, and it's been a spiritual. On the other hand, there's a lot of negative karma also. So, but look at the Rnanubandhan that people have. We have, like, the population of our city is greater than the population of Australia and New Zealand combined. From all over India, people are drawn to this one place, because the Rnanubandhans here are quite extraordinary. They're quite extraordinary. The way this place pulls people is just astonishing to see. No other city has that same kind of drawing power. Delhi, because it's the seat of political power, it has a certain, and patronage, especially those in the cultural fields and things like that. But this city, the rawest form of Rnanubandhan you can see. It just brings in, but that is a samajik Rnanubandhan. It's not a personal. That doesn't matter so much to us at a personal level. At a personal level, how Rnanubandhan functions is that as long as there is give and take, scope for give and take between you and that person, the relationship continues. Once the relationship or that karmic, what you owe to that person, what that person owes to you, once that is over, then it is time to make a choice. Should I continue this and accumulate fresh karma, or should I give thanks to God that at least one karmic hook is out of my pranamya kosha? Now, it's very difficult to do that. You require a very tremendous level of awareness. You need to be able to see that the karma has run out. Now, sometimes we have friendships. There are people in school, we are friends with them, and we write and we email or we stay in touch, and over the years you begin to realize why. I mean, there's nothing in common anymore. No comparative interest. There's absolutely no reason for this to continue except sheer habit. That is not Rnanubandhan. Habit is not the same as Rnanubandhan. Rnanubandhan means that the person still has the ability to impact and influence you, that the person still has the ability to trigger you in most cases. Because the strong Rnanubandhans are always difficult Rnanubandhans. They are people who can hurt you, people who can upset you, people who can pain you. Even those come with an expiry date. But especially in our culture, it's difficult because we have the tendency of going along, we have the tendency of accommodating people, we have the tendency of being friendly with people. So, long after you no longer want anything to do with that person, out of sheer politeness or sheer habit, we continue our relationships. The tragedy is even familial relationships, the Rnanubandhan can run out, and then what do we do in a culture like ours where you just can't say I no longer want to have anything to do with my family. Abroad you can get divorced from your family, they can legal emancipation. Yes, you can be legally emancipated from your family, which is quite tragic, because that actually means at a psychological level they understand this better than we do. The issue is, how do we know? Should we continue this, or should we? There is no other way except yoga. The more you develop in your internal awareness, the more you develop in your internal state, you begin to, now I don't know if I should say, damn it, I'll say it. Once you come to a certain level of intensity, and your energy being, your pranamaya kosha comes to a certain level of intensity, you see something quite extraordinary. You can see lines of energy between you and other people. Most of the time they are like cables, they are like these thick lines, especially with people close to us. As you progress in your yoga, as you progress in your raising your level of intensity, at least from your side they start to dissolve. That web, that is why it is called a web. It's a web of interconnected. From your side it starts to dissolve. I don't know how to explain this. It is as if there are a million hooks in you, and they radiate out into the environment. And it's not just chakra to chakra as people think, it's everywhere. And that ability to see that ability to see that karmic connection between you and another person is a very valuable ability. And it's worth striving for, because depending on the color of the link, the color of the cable or the thread or the fiber that is connecting you, short term, long term, intermediate term, easily broken, not broken, those kind of things. Because sometimes you get irritated with somebody and you say, that's it, I am done. And some yogis actually do it. Even I have done it. I've actually pulled the connection out of me, and that's it, done. And then it regrows. So early days where you are full of arrogance at your newfound abilities, you do these jokes, then after you mature a little bit, you realize, no, these are not things to be done. If it is over, it is over. That is why in yoga, the one thing that you keep hearing is gahano karmana gati, deep is the flow of karma, deep is the flow of karma. You never know. You never know. You've lost touch with somebody, 25, 30 years later, they are right back into your life. Suddenly, so you never really know. And to try and force these things is not recommended. If your sadhana, your meditation, your practice of pranayama starts raising your energy level, starts raising your intensity, on your own, the karmic hooks begin to dissolve. Now, all I can tell you is that I have experienced this myself, so I can vouch for it. The entire literature vouches for it. All the teachers, all the masters vouch for it. You can feel it. You can actually feel in some cases it won't go, because it's so deep, it won't go in one lifetime. But in most cases you can see, okay, for this time, for this extent, and then it will go. What is the use of that skill? In immediate practical terms, not much. It's not going to make you rich. It's certainly not going to make you happy. It will actually make you quite unhappy in the beginning. But later on, you begin to develop a quite extraordinary sense of ease and poise and calm in your interactions with other people, because you begin to understand all the complexities of the factors. You begin to become quite accepting of human beings, because that is the way they are. Also, because you are developing internally, a point also comes where they really cannot hurt you anymore. They really cannot impact you anymore. They really cannot dislodge your life and put it into new kinds of tracks or new kind of, then you are free. Yes, you are still, your karma is irresistibly driving you, Whatever is your prarabdha and your purushartha, that is irresistibly driving you. But at least you won't get deflected, you won't get sidetracked because of some input from some person that suddenly came through.